Hello, everyone. How are you? I hope you can hear me. I was not having any connection issues until I went live. So please let me know if you hear me. I'm not freezing. I want to say welcome to all. It's been a while. I'm glad you are hanging out with me. Who is here first? I'm going to say hi to just one, the first person, Pops. Pops, thank you so much. Thank you for coming by. And I'm going to come and say hi to everybody else. I want to get started because I don't know how long it will take. I don't want to take too much of your time, okay? Your night school time. So I have a few things to share. So hello to all. Thank you, thank you. Welcome, welcome. I hope you've been well. I've missed you, but thank you for, watching the content I have been putting up, like the shorts. And hey, we've been on spring break, you could say. Okay, spring break, of course, right? There you are. Okay, so let me start with something, okay? I want to ask first, who has ever traveled to either Cumberland Island, Georgia, let's see, or Hilton Head, or Jekyll Island? Has anybody ever traveled to any of those locations? You hear me? Fine. Okay, good. Hello, hello. Anybody has anybody? Hello, hello, loud and clear. You're hearing me? Good. I'm seeing this now. Anybody ever traveled to Jekyll Island? Because I want to talk about a couple of things. Jekyll Island, just some Georgia spots, but I want to weave it into some things, okay? So as above, so below, you've been to Hilton Head. Okay. Hello, hello, 5 times 5. Now I know what that is. Hello, Tina. Nice to see everyone. Let's see, Alan. Well, hello, Alan. It's been a minute. You worked in both Cumberland, you have, and Hilton Head. Okay, good. I'm glad you're familiar. So you can let me know if you've had similar experiences or anything you want to add. Hello, Sunny D. You have been to Hilton Head in 1980. Okay. All right. So a few of you have been. Okay. Well, I hope that my connection will get a little stronger here because it is fluctuating. Like I said, I have had no connectivity issues today until going live. But what I want to do, this is going to be a little bit cuckoo, as you can only imagine. Okay. So let me tell you what I want to share right now. Today, I called a church in where are the Georgia Guidestones again? Elberton, Georgia. Okay. That's another area. Okay. If you've ever been to Elberton, Georgia to see the Georgia Guidestones, let me know. Let us know in the chat if you've ever been to the Georgia Guidestones. Okay. And I want to thank anybody who is joining on Facebook and Twitch. Okay. I will be over on the Facebook side of things to say hi. Let's see. Tina, you say you've been to Hilton Head. You didn't stay. You've been to Savannah. Okay. Gotcha. Buffering a little. Yeah. I hope that it gets better. It's fluctuating my bars. It's so weird because it's strong on my laptop. I am fully, engaged. It's in the StreamYard platform. So I'm sorry. Just bear with me, okay? It's StreamYard's fault. When this is over, I'm going to give them a thumbs down, StreamYard. Okay, so let's see. I can't even get all of my... I can't stream. I can't see your post. Oh, StreamYard, you're going to get something, a little message from me today because I can't scroll down to see your comments. That's never happened. What the heck? Can't post comments to some destinations. Well, what does that mean? Okay. All right. Well, I will see your comments eventually. Please, bear with the technology issues. Okay, so this is something I want you to listen to. As you know, we have a lot of sacred locations around our country, the Americas, including South America and Canada, North America. We have sacred burial mounds, and we have these kind of things all around. And now that we're learning history and we're putting things together, a lot of things are just making sense now. They're being revealed. So this is what a lot of what I want to share is what I'm starting to just understand. And I want to, of course, engage with you to see where you are in this process. So I thought about the Georgia Guidestones because I'm going to tell you honestly, me and a friend, one of my friends, she's a fellow nurse, and she is a nurse who is aware of how things are going in the world. So it's not many of them that I have as nurse friends, as you know, rapport with so many nurses when I refused to wear the mask. Remember, I was the one not going along with the script. I was going off script. And so I felt the the results of it with people alienating me, people unfriending me, people just, they didn't like that I wasn't going along with the script. Okay. So, that costs you a lot in terms of that kind of connectivity with people. But I have this one nurse friend who she is like, she's the one I can talk to, like in the physical, like you all I can talk to, but in my real life, I can talk to my mother about all of this stuff. I can talk to her and, just really rare people, So she talked about going to the Georgia Guidestones. And I was like, I would consider that. And recently I heard a podcast by a man who, this is his mission, to go all over the world. You may have heard of him. I see Mbole is in here. Mbole, if you know about this brother who goes around the world and he finds where the altars are under the structures, if they're in a mound or in a ruin, an architectural ruin, or if they are underneath a structure that was built over them. So I'm going to get his name for you, okay? But he's amazing. He goes over to the Middle East. He goes over wherever he is called. So he has an amazing testimony. I would love for you to hear it. I'm not going to play his testimony because it's really a long video, but I can share the link. So if you want, you can listen to him, but he is really just amazing. So he went to Jekyll Island, which if any of you have heard, there is a altar that was discovered under a structure in Jekyll Island. And I'm going to get into that. So let's see. He went and basically he did a powerful prayer and he busted the altar. Let's say altar busters. So he's the kind of guy who will bust it, who will close the portals through prayer, warfare. He shut the doors, shut the gates, shut everything on this altar, Jekyll Island. And as far as I'm concerned, he is the only one who has ever done it. Okay, so he's very, very, very unique. Okay, so I came across him and I listened to this testimony, and I'm going to tell you, it's really powerful. So when I started thinking about the Georgia Guidestones, I want to tell you all, and you tell me if you think the tinfoil is too tight, but I am considering that there is a powerful altar under the Georgia Guidestones. This is something just coming to me. I haven't done much in terms of looking at what has been, found in terms of archaeological digs, pre-American history. So I basically think that for what they consider the American Stonehenge, I consider that to be something very key. So it has to be, if the altar that they found in Jekyll Island is like, that was major, can you just imagine what the Georgia Guidestones has under the ground? So when I thought about it, now one thing I like about this man's testimony, he doesn't believe in like rushing in without wisdom. Not to be fearful or like, trepidatious or anything, but to be fully going in with a military like plan. If you are entering into spiritual warfare, you want to get your orders, right? Your military orders from the general. So not rushing in, because you may get something very unique in terms of an assignment and the way that you have to bust that altar, if that's what you're called to do. I think we all should be called to do stuff like that. Why not? Because the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they are mighty for the pulling down of strongholds. And that's what these things are. They introduce spiritual darkness into an area as far as 200 miles away. You will notice a spike in problems, all sorts of problems, bloodshed from violence and things of that nature. Now I see that I think it's lagging a little bit, but I'm going to keep going. So this is what I did today. I had this, I don't know, you want to call it an unction, to call up a church in Elberton, Georgia. This was just like, I was led to just call. I went online. This was first thing in the morning. I found a church, like a list of churches in the area, and I called the first church. Like, I just picked a church. A woman answered, and basically she was, I had the conversation. Now, I asked her if it was okay for me to share it. So don't think that I just, did this without her permission. But I want you to listen to the conversation. It is interesting, okay? Now, I have to tell you, I'm going to preface before I play it, okay? It's about 9 minutes, so just bear with it because it's interesting, okay? But I'm not a telephone person. If anybody's ever talked to me on the phone, I'm really not a telephone person. So I'm kind of teletarded, I'm going to say. I just I'm awkward with my telephone social skills because I just don't like the telephone. I'd rather be in front of you. We're like having a hot beverage and maybe a dessert. So I'm not really good with telephones. So just, you'll be laughing at me because it starts out really awkward with me and the lady, because it's like, oh my God, I'm using this phone in this way. I'm usually using it to upload something to Instagram and just whatever. But anyway, let me, without further ado, let you listen to this conversation. Okay. So one moment, I'm going to share the screen. And let me know if the connection is okay. Let me know, because it is freezing on my end. I am just... Okay, here it is. So this is the phone call.
Christian Church, this is Kathy. Can I
Yes. Hi, Kathy. How are you?
All right.
That's good. My name is Jennifer.
Okay. Hey, Jennifer.
Hey there. Hey. So, Kathy, listen, I just have a quick question.
Okay.
I'm planning on possibly making a trip to your area, and I live in Georgia, but I'm reaching out to find out if there are any people within your organization, your congregation rather, who goes and prays at the Georgia Guidestones. Do you know of anybody in your area that might have a ministry that does prayer over there? Like, is that a strange question to
At
you?
the Guidestones. No.
No? Oh, okay.
No.
Have you ever heard?
Where are you located?
I'm in South Georgia, and I'm
Where in South Georgia?
like right on the border, really, like a Florida, Georgia. And
Yeah.
so what I'm really
I mean,
concerned about
I
is
grew up. I think I grew up in that area.
okay.
What town are you near? Talking about being near.
Near Americus, Georgia.
Yeah.
You know that area?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, near
I
there.
grew up. Yeah, I grew up just below Bainbridge, right across the line.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, you do know this area really well.
Lake Seminole, Chattahoochee.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Yep, all those definitely different areas. But back to what I was concerned about. Have you known of anybody in the area, like any ministries, if it's not in your congregation, but any that do that type or have a concern? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's your thought on the Georgia Guidestones? Do you have a particular way that you feel about them?
A lot of people here in the area, um, there have been cults that have met out there at it. They keep having to clean them all. People go out there and just spray paint obscene stuff out there on them.
Oh.
It's just some big granite slabs. There's nothing, any reason to go there to pray. It's just
You
person,
oh,
a secular person, built those things, and they put a mystery around it, thinking, well, nobody is supposed to know who actually built them, and really, we still not supposed to know who actually did. I know there's probably somebody here in town that does, but
mm, okay. All right. Well, you say there's no real reason to have a concern to pray about what you say.
not there. I mean, it's just a tourist draw right there. Having those huge pieces of granite slabs, and there's I think 10 different languages
Okay.
written on the slabs.
Uh-huh.
There's nothing spiritual about them.
Oh, it isn't. Okay. So there's nothing that you feel is nefarious about these stones. You feel that they're harmless?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Granite slabs. They're just granite slabs that was dug up out of the ground and shaped and stuck out there.
Okay. Now, if anybody, you're a church, you're part of this congregation. Do you know of any other churches that might have a different opinion, like about the stones, like that might have a concern that go out and they may have, prayer sessions or something like that? Do you know of any churches in the area that have? Okay. All right.
So,
Yeah, okay. I was just wondering, in the Christian community of Elberton, is it, a group that might have a different take on those stones? Like they may think that it is nefarious. So you know of nobody in the Christian community there that has this concern?
no, there's never been any kind of worship service there.
Okay. All right. So the only thing that's happening is you're saying people go out to try to deface them, like you say they're part of cults. What type of cults do you think
They
they're?
have in the years past.
Oh, okay.
Different people have gone out there and like spray painted and had campfires out there and dancing around them like, they weren't praying.
They weren't. Oh, okay. Okay,
No.
they weren't praying. Right. They were there maybe for, I don't know. Is there a
Sort of
lot of,
mischievous reasons.
oh, mischievous? Okay. So, what is it like living in Elberton with this monolith? Is it something that you see, like when you live in a city, you see like skyscrapers? Because I've never been, so I was wondering, what is it like? Do you see it a lot when you drive
No,
around?
it's about they're about 3.5 people high.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's not huge.
I see.
I mean,
Okay.
they're big. They're big pieces.
Right, right. Okay. It's hard to tell from pictures, it's like you can't tell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing to relate the size to. Yeah.
Right.
So I'd say 3.5 people high.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, that gives me some insight, and I really appreciate you taking the time to answer my questions.
You can probably look them up on the internet.
Yes, definitely. I've looked it up. Yeah. But it's good to hear like a person who actually lives there, and just, I appreciate the time that you spent. Thank you so much. And God bless you.
Well, we'd love to have you come. I mean, it's just a tourist attraction.
Okay. All right. Well, I might do it. I'll
This way and come on up because go through here and go to the mountains.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Well, thank you for the time again.
It's right off the Hartwell Highway.
Oh, okay. Hartwell. Okay. All right. Well, I'll look into it. I'm going to, pray for guidance and wisdom, just before, coming to visit, because the guidestones, I just have a bit of a concern about it, but I'm still researching it at this time. So I appreciate.
We can drive to Hartwell and look over that way.
Mm-hmm.
And there's every once in a while 2 or 3 cars, over there
Okay.
looking at them. And,
Oh, okay.
the town put a time capsule in a little area just off from them.
Oh, okay. Like a capstone, when they put a time capsule, when they erect something.
Yeah, this is but in the ground.
In the ground. Okay. When do you know of what year they're going to take the time capsule out?
No, I haven't really. I don't know if there's a actual date or anything on there. I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I guess when they feel the need to open it up, I don't think it's been that long.
Oh.
In the scheme of things.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
There's nothing, to me, there's nothing that mysterious about them. They're just placed in such a way that if you look through a hole in the top, you can see the sun through that hole.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, that's, yeah. See.
Directions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I will. Thank you
And
again.
just picture them being about 3 to 3.5 people, I don't know, high. That gives you a sort of a more perspective
Right.
of how big they are.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thanks again, and you take good care.
There's four.
Oh, four slabs. Okay.
Big, huge slab standing up on end, and on top there's a big square slab sitting on top, holding them all together.
Oh, I see. Wow, that has to be quite a feat of science. It's nothing other than just the slabs holding each other up.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
I see.
I mean, they're about a foot thick.
Okay. Well, that's I appreciate the information, and you have a good day, rest of your day, and God bless you.
You two have a good time down in South Georgia.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay.
All righty. Bye-bye.
All right. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening to the phone call that I had. Like I said, I was led to call, being any assumptions that the churches in the area may not have gone to bust what might be under the ground. Okay. So, by her conversation and knowing a little, in a small town. Now, I'm going to give anybody the benefit of the doubt. If anybody knows anyone that lives in Elberton, Georgia, please find out if there has been an altar buster who has gone and prayed about what is on those stones, if they're even concerned. Because what is it, a conspiracy theory, or like we shouldn't be concerned about them? I'm not sure. But when I read what those stones have on them, I was concerned instantly. Like it wasn't, I was like, why do we have something like that here in America? Why is it in Georgia? Okay. So I'm going to be doing a lot of circling back to some places that I don't know what it is. I was just Lord. I don't know if you want to say Lord. What is a good word? Help me with a good word. I was called, and this was during 2020. For anybody who was following my original Instagram that got taken down, I was sharing right when 2020 everything started. I was thrown onto the front lines of working the convid units. Okay. So from day one, I was thrown right on a convid unit. So I did convid nursing in Georgia. Then I went to New York City and did convid nursing. So all of 2020, I was right there on the front lines with everybody else. Okay. That was on the front lines. We were, working very hard, and it was a weird time. But okay, guided. Thank you, Shauna. I like that. Okay, guided. And then Mercedes. Hello, Mercedes. Welcome. You said I was led by the Lord. Thank you. Thank you. Prompted by the Holy Spirit. Yes. Roger said, okay, all right, Roger, circling back to connect dots. And I didn't understand at the time. And I know you all understand this because it happens to you in your life, that at the moment you're led to do something and you don't know quite why. Now I'm saying, oh boy, because I was living in Savannah, Georgia, and I'll talk about Savannah because I'm going to work through some of the places in Georgia that are very supernaturally charged. Okay. And I've been led to these very highly spiritual places. And I'm very sensitive to that stuff. During the time that I lived in Savannah, I was dabbling in some arts, okay, in some crafts, some arts and crafts. Everybody, I got to be honest. At this point in the apocalypse, I have to be real with you all. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I was practicing the dark arts, the arts and crafts, okay? And yeah, I may have taken a bandana or two by the train tracks. I may have put a few coins on a corner out, in an intersection. I may know how to draw some sigils. I may have had a grimoire book. Yeah, I'm going to tell you all. I may have had an altar or two. Huh? I may have had an altar, ancestor altar, some things on it, right? I may have had a book or two by Madame Helena Patrona what is her name again? You know who I'm talking about. That chick from Ukraine. Helena, the madam. So listen, H.P. Lovecraft, all Blavatsky. Why did I, Madam Helena Blavatsky? I had to tear up. Let me tell you, one day I tore up all of my books. I tore them just like page by page. I tore up my Blavatsky book. Yes. Isis Rising, all of that. Yeah, I tore it up. For me, I had to tear it up. I am not the kind of person who could have those books in my library because I know myself. Okay. Now, some people, they're strong enough to have those kind of books for references if they need to get receipts. At this point, I need to just stay on the side of, okay, Blavatsky was this. She's from Ukraine. She was doing all this stuff. But when I'm reading her poetry, when I'm reading her literature, it's something about that occultic stuff. And I know it's because of what's been in my bloodline, okay? Because I've had people like in my family lived in Savannah. So some of my family, they came from Savannah, okay? And I've already shared some of the other stuff with you. So yeah, I've had to distance myself and repent from my arts and crafts, okay? I've gone to Cuba. I've gone to a Santeria ceremony or two, So I've had to, I definitely know about that spiritual world being very real. I don't think it's some kind of joke. It's very, very real and very serious. So I just want to preface that with letting you know that these areas in Georgia, I'm now looking at everything way different now. Okay. So living in Savannah while I was working in 2020, Savannah, New York City. So everything was shut down and everybody was acting scared. I wasn't scared for some reason. So I already felt like I was alone almost in the world. So I got Josephine right before the lockdown. I adopted Josephine for some reason. It was like, so she came into my life like the beginning of 2020 or whatever. Well, during the right before it. And she went on these trips with me. So I do travel solo sometimes. Like I've gone to China by myself. I wouldn't advise it now. I was the kind of person that very like fearless, my family is scared for me, so I don't have to be scared. So I've always been okay with solo travel because my mother trained me on the things to watch out for. So I don't walk around just like a mark for, stuff to happen. But it's still like now I shudder at the thought that I was traveling by myself so much, because the reason why I would travel by myself is that a lot of times your friends, you'll want to travel and you're like, let's do this. And they're like, yeah. So when it's time to do it, everybody has an excuse like, oh, well, I got to wash my hair. Something suddenly came up. And you're like, wait a minute, but I thought we were doing this. So I'm the kind of person. Now, my grandmother used to say this. I'm not trying to call anybody a monkey, but she would say, one monkey don't stop the circus. Okay. So that's how I would do it. Like, one monkey doesn't stop the circus, I'm going on the trip if I have to go by myself. Okay. But it was so cool because I had Josephine. I was like, this is my little travel partner. And she's a lot easier than traveling with a lot of the friends that I've traveled with. So anyway, Josephine went with me to Jekyll Island. She went with me the 2 times I went to Cumberland Island, and she went with me to Daufuskie. Okay, so we had to go to Hilton Head to get to Daufuskie. So for some reason, every weekend, I would go traveling throughout the coastal part of Georgia, exploring. So Jekyll Island came up for me. So I'm going to deal with tonight Jekyll Island. I'm going to talk about Cumberland Island. We'll do another time with Cumberland Island. Okay. So Jekyll Island, and this connects to why I think there is a powerful altar underneath the Georgia Guidestones. I'm okay with going on the record and sounding crazy, but I'm just going to put it out there that that's what I'm suspecting. Okay. So Jekyll Island, for anybody that doesn't know the connection, why Jekyll Island should be important to all of us, everybody, I don't care if you live in another country, because this affects you, what happened in the early 1900s on that island. It affects everybody in the world. That's how big it is. So the Federal Reserve was literally birthed on Jekyll Island. That is where the plans went into effect. This was an island that the rich and elite, we talk about the 1800s a lot. So when you think about the wealth and everything, and you think about the 1800s through the early, just the turn, the wealth, the Gilded Age and things like that, and the robber barons of American industrial, wealth, they would vacation in certain places. They had so much money, they could literally burn it. So they had vacation places, one of the ones I want to talk about is Jekyll Island. So Jekyll Island is one of the places that they would vacation. And they said that whenever they were on the island, all of the wealthy people, they said that represented the families that were on the island at one given time in the seasons when they would go there. 1/4 of the world's entire wealth would be on Jekyll Island, okay, at this country club hotel. So the Federal Reserve, I learned this, I didn't realize that this happened. I knew about the creature from Jekyll Island. No, I did know about the book, okay? So I heard about the book. Let me stop my screen so I can, I'm going to go back to my slides. So I did hear about the book. Has anybody read The Creature from Jekyll Island? Because that is why I knew that Jekyll Island was important. But I didn't know that, I don't know, I wasn't putting things together all the way in terms of I was literally going to this place. Okay. So I went to Jekyll Island. Again, this is when nobody was anywhere. So it was really inexpensive. So you can get a hotel, because I can't imagine trying to go there on any normal time when all the elite people are vacationing there. So I was flying under the radar, and they were just about giving hotels rooms away free to nurses. If you didn't know that, nurses, we were getting treated so well in 2020. So hotels were like waiving the fees, all kinds of things. So I was like, well, I'm going to Jekyll Island. Okay. I'm going to be bougie. So me and Josephine headed on to Jekyll Island. You could drive right on the island. They have a bridge over for everybody that knows. And I did fun things. I rode horses on the beach, what else did I do? I went to the beach. I went to the hotel. Okay. Now I didn't stay at the hotel where the Federal Reserve was, because that's an expensive hotel. I don't think they were given any rates, rate deals or anything. So I went there because I heard, where it was, and I went around, and this is what I want to talk about. Okay, the room in which the meeting was held, like they have a door that has a plaque that says Federal Reserve meeting or whatever. So I'm trying to open it up and it's locked. So I'm like, can I get in? I want to see what's going on up in this room where they messed me up and everybody in the world, have us enslaved with this debt fiat system. So it was locked. And they were like, well, because of COVID, we're not opening this room, which I couldn't understand. I'm like, what's the big deal? But, whatever, how they were acting. It was like you were in a weird movie, right? A Will Smith weird movie, like post-apocalyptic or something. So then I go out on the porch. Okay. So they have like a porch. You know how those old creepy hotels are. So I went on the porch and I was like, well, is this the room, okay, where they had, so one of the guys that worked there, he was like, yeah, you can look through the blinds. So I'm looking through the blinds. I'm like, what's going on in there? What's going on? So I just like looked in there. No big deal, right? No big whoop. So I looked in the blinds. That's as close as I got to the thing. I don't know what I would have done if I went inside the room that they actually birthed the Federal Reserve. But anyway, so this is the deal, everybody. Let me get to my slides. Let me get to a different view. I like this view here. All right. Somebody else with suggestions to blow him. I can't say it. Okay, so let's get to the discussions here. Okay. The Federal Reserve can be seen like this, Cthulhu. Okay, let's just say that this is the worst kind of creature that H.P. Lovecraft could not have imagined. Okay, and thank you, Sean. There is an altar underneath. We're going to talk about that altar. Okay, so for anybody who is thinking the Federal Reserve is there to help you, I just want to let you know there's a very good resource if you're new to some of these things. I don't want to get into discussions of fiat currency and stuff like that, but I would say there are a lot of videos for anybody who's just wanting to start out looking into this issue here. A man wrote a book called The Creature from Jekyll Island. I would say that is probably the best beginning point to jump off and learn about what happened in 13 or 1910? Let me know in the chatmosphere what year the Federal Reserve meeting, not when they, passed it. They didn't, they did that by fiat too. This is the man who wrote the book. Okay. His name is G. Edward Griffin. For anybody who wants to get that book and look into it. I'm having issues with my connection. Again, if you're just joining me, just know that I am having some challenges, but I'm going to work through it. So this man, I would say, really explains it so well. Okay, so the Federal Reserve is not federal, it's not reserve, it's not American, it's a cartel of, that's probably why my connection is all janky, right? I'm talking about that creature from Jekyll Island, 1912. Thank you. You say 1910 was the first meeting. Okay, so yeah, there's going to be a difference between the meeting and when they pushed it through. Abby says 1913. Okay. Yes, Winston. The Titanic is connected to this story. Yes. Big Pontiac. Hello, them peoples. That's right. Well, I have to do better with my coded language. I've been like rusty. I have to think of my code. So these are them people, like Big Pontiac said. These are them people. If you want to know what them people, this is them. Them boys. They're up to some nefarious things. You could tell, like, look how the people that vacation there, this is that set, the gilded folk, the robber barons, the industrialists. So look at these people. I mean, I'm looking at them. They look like they're up to no good, baby. They look like some bad dudes, like Corn Pop. This is Corn popping them right here. This is Corn popping them. You got Warbucks, you got Aldridge, you have Davidson. You got all the bad dudes right here. Now tell me they don't look like bad dudes, don't they? So these are those dudes, plus or minus one or two of them. All right. So they dreamed up this absolutely nefarious plan to enslave people. And this is I'm telling you, this is not going overboard to say this is enslavement by another name. So let's see. I'm looking at some notes, okay? All right. How did these men know that there was an altar underneath where they met in the room to form the Federal Reserve, everybody? There is an altar underneath the building, an altar right there in where that room is. There are other altars there in other places all around. One of the Rockefeller wives, she built a mansion over an Indian mound. Now, I'm not making this up. You can look it up. They say what it is, an Indian mound. So they're building their homes on top of this stuff. So this is by design. You can't mathematically make this make sense, especially Beverly, exactly the Titanic sinkers. You can't mathematically say that this is just all conspiracy, because it all connects here with these men right here. So the ones that didn't want to go along with this plan, they were on the Titanic. How convenient. So let's see. This system that they dreamed up is a debt-based system. So anytime you want anything in this system, when you purchase it, a debt is drawn up right there, unless you buy everything with cash. We were conditioned to do everything through debt. And now the debt is so high It is in the trillions. Does anybody know how many trillions the debt is? Hey, the real madre. Hello there, sis. Evil has existed since the beginning. Yes, it has. Yes, indeed. Unfortunately. So the deficit that we are at, how can that be remedied? At this point, trillions of dollars are something we can't conceive of. Most people can't conceive of the amount of zeros and how that really looks. Okay, thank you, Winston. Winston says over 30 trillion. So we're at over 30 trillion. So at this point, now listen, I know you've heard this. In order to enjoy the American dream that we Americans enjoyed, in order to live what we call the American dream, we have to have it financed by our grandchildren. Now, I know that you've heard that before. You've probably said it and explained it to people, but we're going to have to really put our head around what that really means. In order for us to enjoy what they call the American dream, your grandchildren have to pay for that. If you want a new car, you want a new house, you want to go out and spend money on your charge cards. And I'm not trying to judge anybody. I'm just saying we need to get with what is going on right here and what these men did to future generations. A baby is born inheriting the debt of their children. So children unborn have debt. Make that make sense. How in the world is that okay? How in the world? This is slavery. And just like this man who went and busted that altar in the room, his name is Tim Bence. Has anybody ever heard of Tim Bence? Okay, so this altar, financial slavery, yes, financial slavery. Does it bother us? Do we lose sleep over that fact? Did I lie? Did I exaggerate what I just said? That in order to live the American dream, your grandchildren, their children, are financing it before they even get here. That's not right. And that should bother us. And I know everybody wants an answer to come real easy, where we just like easy peasy go into some good times. But what about what's been done? Why hasn't that bothered us enough to change it? I'm just saying, why? We have allowed it on our watch. It's not fair to the children. We owe them so much. We owe them so much. Listen, I'm telling you, I might have to apologize to Greta Thunberg. I might have to say, how dare me, Greta? You're right about one thing, Greta, not all that other stuff. But Greta, I might have to apologize, girl, because listen, this is not right. Okay, so Woodrow Wilson, this is a quote. He said, "I am a most unhappy man. I have unwittingly ruined my country. A great industrial nation is now controlled by its system of credit. We are no longer a government by free opinion, no longer a government by conviction and the vote of the majority. but a government by the opinion and duress of a small group of dominant men. Terrible to have like any kind of deathbed, regret that you sold your people out, right? So I'm just saying, like, this is hard. So this is me right here trying to get into, I don't know what I was going to do when I went into the room. I'm not violent. I don't have a record, but I'm just saying I was trying to get up in that Federal Reserve room to see what's good, what's going on in here. So you can see the blinds, that's all I got to look at is just through their blinds there. Excuse me. Let's see. Somebody says she's a test tube baby. Okay, so all right, I want them. Okay, I want you all to tell me. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say too much, but this house right here is one of the cottages. Okay, they have cottages that you wouldn't expect the rich and elite to live in. They lived in more of the down-to-earth homes when they were vacationing Jekyll Island. So none of that, fancy schmancy stuff. So this was the Rockefeller cottage. So tell me, do you see? If you see something, say something, because there's something very interesting about this house. I want to see who's going to see it. Let me get myself off the screen so you can see better. Does anybody see it yet? Let me know, because yes, Lisa, there you go. It didn't take long. The basement. Okay, mud flutters. What's up with this basement? I need the mud flutters. I need those guys to tell me what they see right here. Anybody in construction? Anybody can tell me why this house looks like this? Because I picked this up right away. Now, only because I have my mud flood tinfoil hat on. But don't you see that, Deanne? Right? A mud flood, right, Mary? There you go. They slummed it. Yeah, Nancy. They slummed it on vacation, right? That's slumming it. Exactly. So what's up with this basement, y'all? That is a weird. Now, I grew up in Philadelphia, so I saw a lot of weird stuff like this. Basement things, right? I know Tina knows. Low-level windows, right? So what's up? Tell the people who don't know what this mud flood stuff is about. Can somebody explain what's going on? Can someone explain it? Why we make a big deal out of this kind of thing when you see it in architecture? The bottom windows are low. That's right. It's been buried, right? There you are. Layers. So I'm just bringing this up because the people who will quickly try to dismiss something, not that I care about that. The less and less, I swear, the more time goes by and the more things are revealed to me, I could care less about fact checkers and all that kind of stuff. Because listen, when you get into this research and you use your own common sense, if it hasn't been conditioned and programmed out of you by now. But if you use your common sense and you use your powers of observation, which is your vision, and this is what's so good about observational learning, is you're looking at this, you can go and walk around and touch it, okay? So I was there on that island. So I'm looking at this kind of stuff. I didn't know about the mud flood stuff back then. I wasn't ready for the mud flood stuff. I would see that stuff pop up on my, suggested things. And I was like, I'm not ready for that. I didn't think it was not true. I just didn't think I was ready for it, which I wasn't. I needed like a little more preparation in order to start to receive this kind of information and have this unlocked to my, mind. Okay. So let's see. Tina, she says something happened that created this mud flood that changed all the houses, structures, etc. You can see this all over the world. So if anybody's new to this stuff, this is all over the world. Structures like this, okay? Alan, what are you saying? Basements are dark, damp, and cold, just a breeding ground for ritualistic activity. Whoa, okay. Wow. Okay, so this was the Rockefeller cottage. And again, this man, Tim Bence, which I'm going to put the link to the podcast if you want to listen, he learned from somebody on the island. Now, when you meet the orators, the oral historians, which I met on Cumberland Island, I connected up with some oral historians. If you're going to go to a place like this, you already know you want to find the living oral historians. That's the best. That's what you want to do when you travel anywhere. Let's see. Karen is saying, well, now you are full of mud flutter. Yes, the mud flutters are here. That's right. We're all here. We don't have no problems if you're flat earth, if you're globe earth, if you're mud flood, whatever. If you're pre-trib, mid-trib, post-trib, no trib, no rapture. Just come on in, okay? We don't argue about those things, okay? We want to keep the real enemies of all of us in perspective, in vision, not each other, right? So, look at this. We're talking about these lizards that did this to our financial system. Why are we fighting each other when we got this small group of men who meet up on an island in Georgia? They came from New York City, okay? And this thing was set up in such a way that they didn't even give their names, their real names, when they were meeting up. They were told to get on the train and not act like they knew each other. I mean, this was a clandestine thing. So there's no need for us to fight each other when we realize our real enemy, who they are. It's very easy to identify our real enemy. So I just wanted to show this to give like a little bit of foundation. Okay, yes, pun intended. So this is a mud flood structure. That's what it informs us of, is something is going on in the architecture that a lot of the mainstream sources will not give a good answer for why. Okay, so this is the real story. Are you ready? This is the real story right here. Put on your tinfoil hats at this moment. Get something to drink, whatever you got to do. We're going in. You ready? This is the real story right here. The people that lived in the area of Florida, Georgia, I would say South Carolina as well. So there is a tribe, there was a tribe, because they do not exist anymore. Okay? This tribe, when I went to visit Jekyll Island, now this is why this is so deep. I knew something was up. I don't know why I knew it, y'all, but I saw some stuff around the island when I was exploring, and I kept seeing pictures of these native people, and I was like, Okay, so what's up with these people? I see the stuff all around, but why is it not prominent? Why is this? What's going on here? So this tribe right here are called the Timucuan. I might not say it right. The Timucan. Timucan. If I'm not pronouncing it right, forgive. So the Timucan nation, yes, Lisa, down in St. Augustine. Let me mention something that came up with Tim Bence. When the French Huguenots landed on the Atlantic coast, they first possibly landed in Jekyll Island, on Jekyll Island. Now, they were peeping what was going on with these people, and they were seeing something that must have really like turned them off with some practices, okay? So they left Jekyll Island. They were like, we can't do this. And they headed to St. Augustine. And that's where they started their, first whatever colony there. But they were overtaken by a tribe, right? So, yeah, tons of Geechee people. Yes, Geechee people. Now, I'm not going to I don't the Geechee people I believe are different. They don't have this bloodline right here. This bloodline here is Nephilim bloodline. This is the Nephilim, the Watchers. Yes, God's Alley, you know about them. These are Nephilim tribes. So what I'm starting to see here, and you can correct me, because listen, this is just new. I'm trying on things as I research. If I'm not going in the right direction, please help me get on the right path. Okay, so what it sounds like to me, when we learned about all of the various Native American tribes, there was a lot of warfare going on between tribes. So what I am understanding is that all these peoples were not all Native American people. The Nephilim came over from the Asia Minor, all of the areas where the Nephilim were driven out of Transjordan and the, what is it, the whole area right there that was like where all of the trade routes came out of. So when they were driven out, from my understanding, the Nephilim headed north, which explains why Germany is such a hotbed. It explains that whole thing. To me, it does. And I'm going to look into it a lot more. Okay, so the Nephilim were driven out. And I believe that this tribe of the Timucan, they were Nephilim because they were 8 feet to 9 feet tall. And that includes the women. Okay, that's not a very tall, like we've seen from different Nephilim tribes that they ranged, in height. So I believe that the warfare that was going on is between the real people, the line of Adam. So whoever the Native Americans were that were of the line of Adam, they were fighting these Nephilim just like they were fighting them over when David was fighting all of like Goliath and his brothers. Okay. So I'm starting. Yes, sis, I'm putting some dots together. Okay. This is what I want to submit this to the community right now. Okay. I want to say that what came to me today is that the transatlantic trade was probably a Nephilim-driven operation to traffic in humans humans, right? Over wherever, however many they trafficked over. Because I don't believe that everybody was enslaved. I don't believe that narrative. Now, I believe there were some slaves that came over transatlantic, but it's not what they have told us in history. So I'm now thinking, was this a Nephilim operation where they were capturing human beings, certain human beings from certain tribes? And we're going to get into that soon too. Why? So these Nephilim, they were sacrificing, they were sacrificing on those altars. These altars are all over America. Some of them, when they open them up, there's still remnants of blood. Okay? So if we have structures that are built over Nephilim altars, what does that say about what's going on with the land? Because that will bring a curse on the land. And that's why I want you to listen, if you get a chance, to Tim Bence. Because one of the things that happens when he goes and busts these altars, the entire region begins to heal. It begins to heal of a lot of strongholds, like a lot of violence and things that are going on in an area. I know that we talk about portals, we talk about ley lines and things like that. So I am just proposing that there are probably a lot of altars all around that we know nothing of. Lots of things going on. And, I want to get into more of it as I start connecting things. So these people, this tribe, they had mounds and things like that. So these Rockefellers are building a home on top of one of these mounds. So do you see now? They proposed a system of debt-based slavery that would enslave and entrap our future generations. And they did it in a place that was on top of sacred ground to this tribe. The devil went down to Georgia. Exactly. So this is what I want to say. The reason why I called that church. How you doing, Mary Bo? I wanted to see, because I'm very church hurt right now. I'm very disappointed by the church in America. I am very disappointed. And I'm very church hurt. I wanted to be wrong. I wanted to be wrong. When I made that phone call today, did you hear me trying to I almost wanted to put it in her mouth and for her to tell me, well, yeah, there is a church. They're a little bit crazy. They go out there and pray, at the Georgia Guidestones. I wanted to hear something like that. Did you all hear what she told me? It's no big deal. It's just a bunch of stones. It has 10 different languages, though. That should be a red flag. You're in a little podunk town in Georgia, and you got something standing up that's like Stonehenge. It's got 10 languages on it, and it's no big deal. No big deal. No churches find a problem with it. Okay, so I'm tripping, right? But she let me know that it ain't popping to go pray. So I'm going to put this out there. Anybody who is a church in the area and you kind of get this inkling that maybe we're in the end times that you've been preaching about, that maybe we are in the apocalypse, the great revelation of the age. We are that generation who is going to see the promise of Jah. So if you want to get yourself right on the right side of things, 5013C, you need to march your butt down to this Georgia Guidestones, pastor, rabbi, whoever you are. You need to go pray and bust the altar that I think is underneath there, okay? If I'm out of line, somebody tell me. Am I out of line? So where's the church? Where's the church in Georgia? You got all these freaking mega churches. You had Bishop Eddie Long messing with the children. Y'all had him boosted up on a chair with a crown. I had people unfriend me over that man. They are still defending him. Okay, America. Really? Really? They had people lifting Bishop Eddie Long up on a chair. They basically were crowning him something. They knew what that man was doing. I lived in Lithonia, Georgia, when they were in the small church, and I had a friend. Her and her husband were assistant pastors there. They left that church because they were messing with the babies. They were touching the children. This couple, they confronted them. They said, you all better, they did it like a prophet. You better not touch these children. They were taking advantage of single mothers. They were taking children out of the state of Georgia on the private planes that the people were tithing to. Yes, the devil went down to Georgia, and we better drive the devil out of Georgia. So Georgia, the Church of Georgia, y'all better get down to those Georgia Guidestones. You better learn what's going on in your state. Because guess what? Jah is going to judge his house first. First. And I would say it's already begun. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? So this tribe of Nephilim were taking the babies to the altar. That tribe of bankers were taking our babies to the altar. And we are talking about living the American dream. We're taking our babies to the altar. We better repent. We better repent. This is all coming let me tell you, Jah is revealing in this day. He's revealing. People better get right because they obviously don't fear him and they don't believe what he said. He said, y'all better not touch these babies. You better put a millstone around your neck. Y'all better protect these babies. You churches of Georgia, you Laodiceans, y'all need to have buses going to them Georgia Guidestones. And guess what? The power of Jah, he might take a lightning bolt and smash it, smote it. That should be the prayer. And it doesn't take a lot of you. It doesn't take a lot of you to do it. I dare you to go to them Georgia Guidestones and really pray. Consecrate yourself and pray. Ask God to tear it up. You don't have to go deface that stuff. Ask God to take it down. That is a disgrace that those stones are standing up in the state of Georgia. Shame on you, Stacey Abrams. Shame on you, Raphael Warnock. Shame on all of you for letting the devil fiddle. He fiddles and dances here in the dirty South, in the rotten peach. The ATL, that is the new Hollywood. Thank you, Tyler Perry. You and the Medea goddess that made you rich. I'm going to get on to you one day soon. You got that Medea spirit. He didn't get rich on a male's image. He got rich on a woman's image. What does that say to you? Georgia, I'm telling you, I don't know why I'm saying it, but the churches here in Georgia, y'all better get serious about what's happening. These altars, y'all better learn how to bust some altars. You better know who to call. And it ain't Tyrone. Well, I need a drink right now. Excuse me. Talk amongst yourself. Y'all want to make a field trip or the Ghostbusters? That's right. Call the Ghostbusters, but don't call Tyrone. Shauna, you made it to class. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to take some honey for my screaming. I'm ranting, right? Okay, 1 minute. I'm still here. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay. So I do have some more slides. I know we're hanging out. You know me, I try to keep you so long. I haven't seen you in a while. Okay, so let me get back on track. Can you imagine that was a tangent? An angry tangent. So if you want to know where the Timucuan, or, you know, these are the tribes that originate in these areas, the Timucua. So you see this part of Florida, but it goes up into Georgia. And I'm saying possibly, so you see the coastal parts of Georgia here. This is where you have all these little inlets and everything, right? For the people who have visited these areas, you know how beautiful it is. So this is a picture of the Timucuan. And I want you to tell me rather what you see. If you see something, say something. Does this tribe look like a friendly bunch that you might, you know, want to hang out with and break bread with? Do they look that way to you? Is that what you're picking up on? This is the tribe. These are 8-9 footers. Women too. Okay? What's it look like to you? Just drop it in the chat atmosphere. Do they look friendly? Friendly? I come in peace. Okay. Now tell me what you see. If you see something, say something. Just drop it in there. I just want to get your impressions. Allison, you're here. Allison, I'm losing my voice. I've been screaming like Alex Jones. You said this is, oh, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. Love you. Apocalypto. Yes. I haven't even seen that movie, but I know what you're talking about. Doesn't it look like I was getting those like vibes from Star Wars, the Sith Lord. Am I right? Is that giving you Sith Lord vibes? Just tell me. Stranger danger. You're picking up some. Now, this tribe, they have bows for the men and the women, because I have women in my family that know how to use a bow and arrow. But I'm just saying, these are bows that you don't see from the Native American tribes that we are familiar with. These are bows that you see over in Asia Minor, in the Middle East, in those regions. So this is why I'm saying history really matters. These are like double bows. They're bigger than the normal bows, okay? So does anybody see that also? You say you're getting a, okay. There you go. You say a Ghostbuster field trip would be awesome. I know that's right. We need to, who are the good planners, the trip planners? I mean, we need somebody to plan this. I will be there. I'm just saying. I know we have talent out there that knows how to plan stuff. Okay, this is the way that they live. These are the village. This is the village. These are the homes. What do you see? You're coming too? Yes, Robin. You know, that's my twin right there. We grew up together in Philly. Give her some love. That's Robin. And you know my name. My middle name is Robin. So, okay, what are you seeing in these structures? Because I see something. I just want to see if you see it. Thank you, Tinye. Love you. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. Yes, if you can do a thumbs up on the video, please. Thank you. It's there you are, pyramids. Yes, there you go. Pyramids. So why do certain people love these pyramids? And then when you think about the Federal Reserve note, it has a pyramid on it. So yeah, we're just crazy conspiracists, right? Okay, so here are the Timacuans. What do you see? Do they look like nice guys? What's going on? I just want to see what you're going to say. Everywhere pyramid, right? Juan's here. Hey, Juan. Oh my God, Rosie Pie's in the building. Rosie Pie. Hey, sis. There you are. Thanks for joining. So this is I'm just saying these men are 9 feet tall. Okay? I'm just saying something's up. You all that like to be Native Americans and stuff, we need to know the difference between the tribes. And I want to also say this, as they call the Old Testament, as the Old Testament God of wrath, and he was just killing people. Did you ever stop to think that maybe those wars that were going on were to get rid of these tribes of Nephilim? He wasn't killing humans and having people just kill. This was like an infestation after the flood. The Nephilim came back with a vengeance. So it will make a person consider another option than just brushing off Jah as being this wrathful God who's just going around killing everybody. These are people, if you want to say people, they are part human, part angel. as they describe figures like Nimrod, like Gilgamesh. You know, we talked about the Epic of Gilgamesh, which I'm going to circle back to because I want to do something on Nimrod coming up soon. I'll let you know because I'm getting it all straightened out. There's so many things I want to cover, but I'm going to be hanging out Jekyll Island, Cumberland. I'm going to do Cumberland Island next, okay? Because I spent some time there also. So just look at these depictions of this tribe, and it's going to give you will be informed of what you are looking at, okay? Your discernment will tell you what it is that you're looking at. Mercedes, that's right. The DNA was altered. This is the plan of the enemy, is to alter DNA, is to create what, shout out to Keegan, who calls it the Baffity Boo. Everybody know about the Baffity Boo? This is the great work that they talk about. This is the alchemical golden child. The alchemical great work is to merge the genders, okay? So the Baphomet, this is the great work. So this is all to alter God's creation, because the Nephilim hate humanity because they did not get an option to have redemption. They are unredeemable. Once they turned their back and rebelled against Jah, there was no chance for redemption. They sealed their fate. So this is why the war against Eve's seed, Adam's seed, this is the seed war. Steph glows. That's right. We love Keegan, love her, right? The Baffity Boo. I love that she coined that term. That thing is so funny. But yeah, look at these guys. Look at this, okay? This is the Nephilim tribe that have altars in Georgia and Florida where they were actively sacrificing. Tell me what you think when you see this tribe. What are you seeing? What are you picking up on? Let me know. And they have a very distinct way of tattooing the body according to like different rites of passage and things like that. But this is what I thought of when I saw them. I instantly thought of Kiss, baby. I was like, I don't like that makeup. That's giving me Kiss vibes, okay? Let me go back and you tell me if do I need a vacation? Is that giving you Kiss vibes? Because that's what it did for me. Do you see it? Or am I off base? What do you think? Kiss, you got some splaining to do while you wear your bun like that. Look at that bun. See? Look at that. You got the bun. You got the eye stuff. What's going on? You see it? I'm just saying. You see it, Tenye? There you go. It's a lot of interesting things here, but that was the first thing I thought of when I saw that eye makeup. I thought of Gene Simmons and the various, they call it kabuki makeup, but I don't know. And so this is okay. This is the Timacuans, baby. They are killing some monsters because I don't know about these as alligators in Georgia. I better not see an alligator that looks like that. I'm gonna tell you, if you golf in like Augusta and those areas, I used to, I told you I worked in pharmaceuticals. So, we would have to take doctors golfing. I don't know how to golf. So I had to take golfing lessons and all this stuff. I'm not a golfing girl, okay? So I had to like do this just to get meetings with my clients, okay? So one of my colleagues, that was her territory, Augusta. And she said that a lot of times when she was on the golf course, well, you would see an alligator like show up, and you had to know how to like run, to get to your cart. And she says that if an alligator was chasing you, you would have to run in a zigzag pattern to get away from them. Does anybody know that? Has anybody ever run away from an alligator? Just let us know. Have you been living on the edge like Alan is saying, there are 8-foot alligators in Alabama? Oh, okay. All right. So there are some big boys in Alabama. All right now. Look at how they're killing them, though. These alligators don't have a chance. Now, okay, let's just put things in perspective. If they are 9 feet tall, now let's look at the alligators. If these guys are 9 feet tall, it hits different. And I don't think I like the diet. I think I'm going to be a vegetarian if I'm hanging out with the Timacuans, okay? Because I don't like the meat that they're barbecuing right there. What about you? No, thank you. No, this is a barbecue I don't mind being uninvited from. Because I can't come to the cookout anymore for the Negressons. I'm not invited to the Negressons cookout. So I don't want to go to this cookout. Look at this, Tenye. No, but I heard you should run zigzag when running. From that too, I didn't know, Tenye. See, we're learning all kinds of things today. So I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm all for trying different cuisines, but this one here, I'm not digging. I don't even recognize some of these jokers, and they got a snake up here on the barbecue pit. I'm just saying. I see a fish, but still, I'm not going to show up. RSVP, I got to wash my hair, Timmy. Look at this. So this must be the Huguenots. Am I saying that right? The Huguenots that they came and saw this. Now I can see why the Huguenots were like, we're out. Okay. We're so out of here. The food that these dudes are eating and what they're doing. This is one of their like rituals. You see the dance and listen, I'm just saying. I don't get good vibes from this one, you guys. Y'all want to be Indians all the time. And they're turning out to be, some of them are doggone neffs. Neffs. Look at this. They don't come across as a friendly group. Okay. You could call me racist. You could say, I don't care. You could say whatever. I'm not getting friendly vibes. Like, come and set up camp with us. So what are you thinking? What is it? Are we staying? Are we going to find an Airbnb somewhere else? What are we going to do, family? Give me the plan. What are you feeling? Are we going to go down to St. Augustine and get us an Airbnb? Because I don't like this side of the family. If this is family, I'm not claiming them, though. I'm not. I'm sorry, y'all. So, yeah, so back to this group, okay? They were up to something, and they knew something about this Nephilim tribe, okay? They knew what was going on. This wasn't a coincidence that they built a structure, a hotel for the elite right over Nephilim altars. I'm just saying. So here you are. This is the hotel that when you come up to Jekyll Island, if you want to stay in the Nephilim altar hotel, There you are. You could ride around like Cinderella on a carriage, right? Look at that. Isn't it giving you welcome to the Hotel California vibes? I don't know. It's giving me that Hotel California, such a lonely place. We're living it up at the Hotel California. Now, this, if you are into, the boat life, this is the boat life, y'all. For all you little, what are they called? The sugar babies. This is where you get your sugar daddies. They have boats and things and toys, right? I don't think the sugar babies want these kind of sugar daddies. I'm just saying that doesn't look like a good plan anymore, does it, sugar babies? And if you are a Lily Pulitzer type of gal, this is the Lily Pulitzer crowd, okay? Gang, gang. So what's interesting about the Lily Pulitzer gang is that Pulitzer was a member of the club right here, okay? So this is what's interesting. If for the people that don't know about the South, like Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, you have this sort of, it's like a bougie culture where you have to have sort of a pedigree, where your family has to be one of these Southern families. And it goes on to this day. They still have their cliquish ways in the South, okay? It's a lot of good hospitality in the South, but it's also a lot of cliquey, like you got to have the right bloodline type of stuff. Southern Belles, there you are. The Southern Belles, I love them. I'm an honorary Southern Belle. And once you know about Southern Belles, this is the kind of gifts they give you. Hold on, I'm going to show you. Okay, so if you have Southern Belle friends, they give you these kind of Lily Pulitzer. Like, this was something that when I worked as a nurse, I used to take my lunch in my Lily Pulitzer. It's like a little beach. You could put your wine for your wine moms, put your wine or your crazy, it's deep. So these are kind of gifts, okay? So they're really into this Lily Pulitzer stuff. It's like crazy. They wear it from head to toe, right? And the guys wear the Izods. They have, wait a minute. They got lizards on the shirts. Did I just make another connection for the preppy? They got lizards on there. Oh my God. They got lizards, reptiles on their clothes. Wow. Okay, so anyway, back to the Lily Pulitzer scene. So yeah, Pulitzer was very actively prominent. Well, still the Pulitzer family is still in the publishing business. Izod. Yeah, how about that? The alligators. That's fascinating. I just thought about that. Okay, so Pulitzer, he had the dirt on everybody at the club, okay? So that has to be interesting. I'm going to look into the Pulitzer family at another time because I know I'm going to connect another thing about Pulitzer. But Pulitzer was part of this crowd. And they were always afraid of Pulitzer because Pulitzer could, spill the tea on them. So Pulitzer must have been similar to, I'm going to say allegedly what? Like Ghislaine and no, I'm not going to say that. I'm just saying because of the Maxwell publishing empire. So, this is the place that they have your dream weddings, okay? So I want to just give people an idea about Jekyll Island who don't know about Jekyll Island. If you want to have a wedding to make everybody jealous, this is where you want to have your wedding. If you want everybody to, you're going to stunt on everybody. You're going to stunt on them with your black and white checker dance floor. So when She's a Brick House comes on. You're going to be out there, look at that. They're out there. What song do you think is playing? What do you think their first song is going to be? Brick House or what? But they're out there on the checkerboard. I'm just saying, I didn't say anything. I'm just saying that it's interesting. So this is the wedding destination place. And before anybody wants to start with their, oh, it's them white people. Oh no, I see negrescence. I see negrescence in Jekyll Island. So where is the narrative about Black downtrodden people? Because this is a big wedding and I see negrescence. I see nothing but negrescence up in this picture. So I'm just saying, this is a pretty penny right here to have a wedding on Jekyll Island. So I'll just leave that right there. Okay. Yep. All right. So this is equal opportunity time. They're having their weddings right there, just like everybody else. All right. And so I didn't know about this, everybody. So Jekyll Island will host your baby moon. Did anybody know that they were having baby moons? So this is when you get pregnant, I guess, and you're having I don't know, what is a baby moon? Can somebody tell me? But they do baby moons here. So if you want to have a fabulous baby moon, is that what it is? Vacay before baby. Oh, that's what a baby moon is. Okay, everybody, is vacay before baby. All right, I'm still here. Sorry. All right, so this is what they call a baby moon. For those that didn't know about it, if you want to plan one, this is what the kids are doing. So this is the back view, the garden view of this hotel club. And one of the beautiful features about this island, because it's a lot of natural beauty to these places, but there's something called Driftwood Beach. So you will see these amazing, trees and just the driftwood, and as the tide goes back and forth, it's absolutely beautiful. So that is one of the features of the island. And you could get your drink on. I was over here, it didn't look this lively. It was like really deserted when I went. The bar wasn't even open. So they do the bar thing, and I just can't imagine, like, once what's going on this at this hotel club, I don't see how. I don't know. Anyway, you could ride bikes around the island. They have a lot of boardwalks and things like that. I told you the story when I was riding a bike on Cumberland and I was riding on one of these boardwalks. I was the only one out there. And I saw a snake going across, and I was going at a fast speed on the bike, and I hadn't been on a bike in a while, so I was a little jiggly. So I didn't want to stop suddenly because I was on a roll. And I saw the snake and I was like, oh my God. And I'm getting closer to it. And I just yelled out, get away, get away. And he did. He went between two of the, like somehow he got out of my way. So I'm just saying, I used to be afraid of snakes, and I saw a snake the other day, a green snake. And now when I go outside, if I have to go, I'm like, you all better get out of my way. I don't want to see you. And I stomp real hard when I walk so they can feel it. Get out of my way, snakes. I don't like you. So this is how the hotel looked, like, the creepy, like 1800 style. It looks like the Hotel California there, doesn't it? Yelko. No, thank you. And this just is spooky now. I was looking at it and it gave me bad vibes, okay? Real bad vibes, y'all. I don't think it's pretty. I don't know. What do you think it's pretty? I don't get no thank you. No likey. And look at the meeting rooms. Oh, this is the room, y'all. This is where it happened, I believe. I'm not sure. Wait, was the paint yellow in that particular meeting room? But I'm just saying, this is how the rooms look. So, you wouldn't think anything if you were, say, you worked at a corporation and they were having something at this hotel. You would go and sit in the meeting room. You wouldn't know there's a freaking altar under your feet. Oh my goodness. Right? It makes you look at everything differently. Look at this, look at the stairs, right? A little bit spooky. I think they filmed a movie here. Does anybody know what movie? Wait a minute, I'm trying. The movie that they filmed here, I think it was Bagger Vance. The Legend of Bagger Vance was filmed here at this hotel. Did anybody see that movie? And this is one of the homes, cottages, whatever, you could get it, I'm just looking at it all, and this is where you play, what is this, croquet? I just think of salmon croquettes is this croquette? So yeah, so this is where they do that. This is the fancy crowd. This is bougie stuff right here, baby. You can't come here on a budget, even though I did go on a very low budget, but I went when nobody was going. So I did it. Now I'm just thinking it was all for a reason, okay? It's croquet. Thank you. This is where you play croquet. All right, croquet for you croquet people. Yes, they're out there playing croquet. This is a different crowd, you guys. This is the different crowd. This is the money. This is that old money and new money too. New money always has to show up and act gauche around old money, right? So yeah, you got the old and the new. And you even have a bagpipe guy. So there's some sort of Scottish connection, British. And then you see the couple, you can see how everybody looks. This building that the couple is in front of is called the Sanssouci. I don't know. Sushi. But you see the Range Rover. Nothing says American success like a Range Rover. Right? Look at that. And you get the old trees, the old oak trees with the Spanish moss everywhere. So I live in an area where you have all this Spanish moss. And I used to want to collect it and do arts and crafts, not the arts and crafts I talked about earlier, not that arts and crafts, but real arts and crafts that you go to like Michael's and stuff. And I was going to get my moss from the trees. I mean, it's all over. But no. Don't you get this moss because it has a lot of bugs in it. Lots of creepy bugs. Just keep it on the trees. I'm sure. Yeah. But this is what you see. And I just want to say the American dream. When I looked through and I thought about some of the things that I saw on the island, it pretty much captures what America has become, I'll say. And this may be offensive, but I think we're going to have to come to some hard truths and have some hard conversations about this culture. This culture is one that we have gotten accustomed to having a million different options. You have a million different options of everything you could ever want. And in it, it's not that it's bad in its essence, but what I'm saying is when you reevaluate everything, and traveling will do that for you. If you travel to a place where people live very simply, you will come back to this culture here and you will feel very turned off that we have such excess. And the excess is just like a bottomless pit. And, you know, I have observed people sitting at a dinner table watching the Food Channel. And it's something of a disconnect when it happens, because I'm thinking, this is what we have become. We have a food channel that has shows on it probably 24 hours, right? And you can eat a meal and watch programming about food. So I'm just saying there's something that is a disconnect for people who are really, like, we've been grieving for so long in this system. It's a Babylonian system. Earlier today, I made a comment on my buddy, Fermano. And I called the system, I said it's like an old Babylonian hoe. An old Babylonian hoe. Okay? And I thought about a hotel in Atlanta, and what they say is this is the hotel where old hoes go to die. That's like what the locals say that. By the way, if you live in Atlanta, you need to find yourself a local who has roots in Atlanta. They can tell you the most amazing stories. And that's something about Southerners. You want to meet the person who knows all the stories, because they will tell you a lot of stuff. It's kind of like, Savannah and Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. When I lived in Savannah, I worked at a hospital that, Lady Chablis, if you know anything about that book, Lady Chablis, was in and out of the hospital there. So, people in Savannah, they have interesting stories. You'll come across those people and it's just fascinating, So I'm just saying, it's something about all this food though. It's good. I love to eat food. I'm just saying, how long can we borrow against our future generations to live this dream that is on borrowed fiat money? It's based in debt. We are living it up and creating more debt for our future generations. I'm just saying there's something really not right about that. That should really keep us up at night, actually. We shouldn't be good with that. The excess. Look at this sandwich right here. They call it the giant sandwich. And I mean, if you need two hands to eat something, I mean, do we need to reevaluate this, America? I'm just saying. Does this look appealing anymore? I'm just saying, for me personally, it's just not appealing anymore. I just, and again, this is the wedding destination, which I find it interesting that weddings are, connected to this place of, what it was dedicated to, so it's just a lot of weddings and that whole energy of weddings, weddings by the seaside, which is beautiful. Beach wedding, absolutely beautiful. You got to watch out for your hair though. You got to have the right kind of products in your hair, or you're going to have an afro, baby. Because I went to a wedding, one of the nurses I worked with here in the South, I went to her wedding on the beach. It sounds all nice and everything, and I got my French press. No, my silk press, where they press our hair out, and I went on that beach and bam, that beach air got to my hair and I had an afro. I was Angela Davis in a few minutes. So yeah, I don't know the beach wedding thing. I don't know the hair. You better do something else. And yeah, you could get your golf on as long as an alligator doesn't come up behind you. But if one does, you want to run in a zigzag and probably throw your club at one of them. So look at these mounds. Doesn't that make you look at mounds in a different way now, right? you know what I'm talking about, Mercedes, right? You know what it's like, the Afro life. Oh, story time, story time. Okay, everybody, I used to wear an afro. I went through my afro times and I did the whole afro. I had to learn about my hair when it's in an afro, and it was a whole journey. They did the hair journey. I did my hair journey. And one thing about wearing an afro, though, is something really magnetic about it. I would walk in public and people would just act so weird because I also got mine. I got it like frosted. Like, I had a friend who was a beautician and she did this color in it. So it was kind of like blondish in different places. So it was like standing out and it was like big. And people would walk up to me and touch my afro. I was like, now they weren't black people doing it. You already know who was touching my hair. Okay, family. You guys weren't asking permission. You were just coming up and just boom, right in the hair. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What about boundaries? Wait a minute now. But something about an afro, it just makes people, I don't know what it is. It was just so much attention. If you like attention, wear an afro. If you don't like a lot of attention, don't wear an afro. I had to stop wearing the afro, okay? Because it was a little bit too much. Too much. It was when I got the like the lighter color in it. That's when it went to another level. I was like, nope, I don't want all this attention. Okay, like Solange said, don't touch my hair. But back to these mounds, okay, people, what is going on? You guys, you golfing people, y'all got some splaining to do because y'all are playing on mounds. Why are they calling them mounds? What's underneath all that stuff you're putting these balls around on? Because I'm starting to look at it a little bit different now. What's up with the golfing, everybody? Where are my golfers? You said, Molly said I would have touched her. Now, you could touch it, Molly, okay? But you know what happened, Molly? Let me tell you another story. I was traveling. You all know that it's been an act of God that I didn't get locked up. Now, I've never been locked up, but when I go through TSA, they test my Christianity, okay? And when I came through with my afro one day, I don't know where I was. Well, I don't know what city I was in, okay? But here I am minding my business, trying to go through your 9/11 Patriot Act slavery. And I'm going through the checkout, whatever. And the woman told me that she had to inspect my afro. And I looked at her like, come again? And she's like, oh, I need to she told me I had to go to the side because she had to go and feel in my hair. I said, no, you won't. I said, no, you will not be putting your hands in my hair. I don't see any need for you to do that. And she said, well, I just need to check. When am I going to have a knife in my afro? Like, I was like, oh no, today I will get locked up because she's not going to put her hands in my hair trying to insinuate that I have some weapon in my afro. What the heck? I said, no, not today, baby. I looked at the black girl. I said, you better come get your friend right here. She is not putting her hands in my hair. I said it just like that. I said, sis, you better take care of this situation because it's not going down like she's about to make it go down. And I think they knew that I was a different level of crazy and they better leave her alone so she could go catch her plane. They tried that another time with my Princess Leia, as they call them, buns. The lady told me I had to take my bobby pins out so she could check my Princess Leia buns. Are you serious? That's when I'm going to turn your whole airport out because you're not going to make me take my buns down. I'm sorry. And by the way, I'm not impressed that the airline industry dropped their mask mandates. I'm still not flying on your airplanes in your tin cans. Your flying tin cans. I used to love flying too. I'm not going. I don't care. I don't want to travel nowhere that requires airplanes. I don't care. They were showing that they took the mask off. Yay! No, for the abuse that you put us through, that's one thing I'm not going to forget, airline industry. Delta Airlines, that is stationed right here in dirty Georgia, the rotten peach. How dare you, Delta Airlines? I've been flying on Delta Airlines since I was a little girl, you guys, because my parents were divorced. I was that kid. They had the little dumb pin on. So I was flying back and forth from Atlanta to Philadelphia, visiting my dad. Yeah. So I'm just saying, Delta, I'm done with you. I'm divorcing you for what you did. So this right here is a church on the island. They have a lot of interesting churches, by the way. When I was on the island of Cumberland, I wanted to go to that little African church that is very, they say it's the first church, first maybe African church or whatever on the island. There's something up with the churches, okay? If anybody sees something, I know it's a little bit small, but this church has an original Tiffany. So the Tiffany art, like the glass, stained glass, this is a Tiffany original in this church. If you have any theories, please share them. I would love to see what your theories could be about the churches that are on the island. Because I'm going back to these places. So here we go. Time to get creeped out now. So, you know, they did the whole Easter bunny thing. I don't know, something about these bunnies. They're not sitting well with me. I don't know what it is, but something's not sitting well with bunnies hiding behind the bushes. If a bunny jumped out at me, I'm just saying it's not going to go well for you, bunny. So this is a structure on the island called, this place on the right is called the Horton House, and it is haunted. By the way, for anybody who doesn't know about Georgia and places like Savannah, there is a lot of ghost activity, a lot of hauntedness. And I've had a lot of experiences with ghosts in Savannah. And hospitals are very infested with a lot of what it would supernatural activities, we'll say. So hospitals are hotbeds. I have had to be called when I worked as a supervisor. If anybody is in here from my Los Angeles work group, a couple of them called me one day. They had a ghost on the unit and they wanted me to come help them. I was the supervisor on, and I get a call about ghost. So I had to go up there because It was two nurses. They refused to go take care of the patients. They were scared. They were locked up in the nursing station. They were not coming out because they said they saw ghosts on the monitors in this certain room. So I went down there. I don't know. I guess I've never been scared of this kind of stuff. So I just went down there and they were watching from the, nursing station where they were locked up scared. And I just went down and I was praying as I was walking towards the room that they saw the ghost. And I was like, you better get up out of here. You better do it now. I mean, you don't have to get all fancy. Just say whatever. Get up out of here. You're not welcomed in the name of Jesus Christ. Whatever you have to do. And you know what these two nurses said? They said as soon as I walked down, like got really close, they said all of a sudden, whatever this apparition that they were seeing on the monitor, they said it went really fast up, like it went up and disappeared. So I was like, okay, good. You better get out here and start taking care of these patients. Letting a ghost stop you from taking care of the patients. Oh, I could write stories, you all. So this is something here that they do. They have some kind of treasure hunts on the island. Now, I wasn't there when they were doing this, but this is kind of interesting, right? So these are some kind of orbs that they have on the beach, and they do some kind of treasure hunts. So I don't know. This is very interesting, I'll say. And another thing about these islands, have a lot of monarch butterflies. So when I was riding bikes around Cumberland Island and just walking around, butterflies were just fluttering all by my face. That's how friendly they are. 1 minute, you guys. I'm still here. 1 minute. Okay, so this right here has to do with the ghost activity they have on the island. Okay, so something's going on there. Hey, young bee, kind of cool looking, actually. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's 11. Oh, I missed it. 11. Yeah, isn't this a creepy picture? So they have a lot. Listen, whoever wants to deny this, I just can't imagine how all these things can be a coincidence. They have a lot of supernatural activity. They have altars from Nephilim. This can't be good, right? What? I'm just saying. It's a lot of weird stuff, okay? So this is, if you go onto their Facebook page, they posted this on the Facebook page. So this is what it says. We've been featured on USA Today's 10 best spooky and fun places to stay this October. With over 100 years of history, there is bound to be a ghost story or two. What do you think? Should we call the Ghostbusters? So, they're having fun with this. They think this is cute. You see? They think this is real cute. I don't think it's cute. And so they're bragging that they are one up. They say, are we haunted? Hard to say. But we've heard our fair share of ghost stories. We have been nominated to compete in USA Today's 10 best haunted hotels. Okay? All right. So this is what they celebrate. That they are one of the 10 best haunted hotels. And then they're saying that USA Today has voted, or they're trying to be seen as one of the best family resorts. So what is it going to be? Nephilim Altar Hotel. Are you going to be the most haunted hotel or the best family hotel? What's it going to be? You can't be both. You can't be a family hotel thing. Like, does that make any sense on just a little level of logic? Like, what the heck? Make your mind up. You got to pick a lane here. So I thought this was interesting. I came across, you know me, I find some crazy little pieces, but this man is standing next to a big rocking chair. Now, ordinarily, that looks just kind of not like anything, right? You're like, it's a rocking chair, it's big. Somebody just did it as a joke. But put your tinfoil turbans on for a minute and consider the proportions of this rocking chair. I'm just saying, if you think about people, if we want to say people that are 9 feet tall, 8 feet tall, with that, I don't know. I'm not that good with proportions. So what do you think? Like if somebody were to sit on a chair and they would be the appropriate height for this chair, what would you say? Yeah. Right, Tina? Isn't that interesting? And they push this off as, oh, it's just a goofy thing. We just have a big rocking chair. Right? Mercedes, what are you thinking? Kind of interesting. I'm just going to say I'm going to put that in the interesting file. And here we are. These are the kind of things that are found underneath when they find these artifacts. You know, you have Mesoamerican, you have all of this pre-American history, and they find these kind of this stuff right here is seen in the art. This is a tool that is used to, on the sacrifices. Do you see what I'm saying? So for anybody who is just waking up to this stuff, the land needs to be cleansed because there is a lot of blood that has been spilled. Not just the blood that we heard about the Civil War. And another thing I want to talk about connecting is right after they did this stuff at this meeting, you have to think about the kind of wars, like the portals. I think they opened up a portal for war when they were messing around with these mounds and these portals and gateways. And then before you know it, it's this like bloodshed, warfare. They are activating ancient entities. So it is like the connections, like when you think about the wars and you connect these things, I'm starting to think about it a lot differently. Right now. Let me talk about that, the house. Let me go back to that house because I just want to mention the history behind that house, the Horton House. So this place right here is called the Horton House. So the Horton House is Georgia's first brewery. So it's one of the oldest surviving buildings. So this was General James Oglethorpe's. He was a beer connoisseur. So he was the top military aide. And another thing that they did on these islands, a lot of the British were setting up places to meet. Jekyll Island was one of them. So yeah, those rocking chairs and those porches. By the way, the Southerners, they don't call them porches all the time. If you have one of these long stretching, they're called verandas. Okay. So, that's the bougie porch, a veranda. So they have these beautiful sweeping verandas. And, you think about Gone with the Wind and sipping a mint julep, and being a Southern belle. So yeah, so I just wanted to say that. And yeah, this has been a long live stream, but I appreciate you hanging out with me. I think I covered most of the things. This is a lot of information, but I'll save some of it for another time. So let's see. I will play another something fun because I know that was dark and everything, but I want to just sum up what I'm saying is that I think somebody needs to be bold, especially believers, and get to these places and bust these altars and do it for the people, because everybody suffers in the area when you have this stuff going on that you don't know about. You don't know the history. We need to learn the history. So I want to play something kind of fun. I put it together. It's silly. You know, I told you, me and Josephine, we went on our little trip. She was my little riding buddy. So yeah, this is just a little compilation. It's a couple minutes, okay? So you can hang out a little bit more and watch this little silly thing. You know, Josephine is our little friend. Hey, Josephine. Josephine, excuse me. Why are you over there? Josephine? Dare you? Dare, how dare. Yeah, by the way, okay, just to explain that video, um, when I was riding horseback, they rode through what they call muck. So it's called, what is it called, you all, when you ride through the muck? So you ride like the horses they're walking through this mud. And it was so exciting, like just to walk through this mud and just like splashing and everything. And then we walked through the mud, and then we went through like an opening to the beach. And so we're riding on the beach, and that's, if you go, you can schedule to do the horseback riding on the beach, but you go through the mud first. So it's amazing, okay? And then because there was nobody at the hotel, so I was staying, they put me on the third, I don't know, the top floor, whatever. It's a, kind of not tall hotel I was staying at. And they didn't have anybody in the next room. So Josephine, she would be out on the on the little patio thing, and she was walking next door, and that's why I was like, Josephine, you need to come back over here. She's looking at me like a cat does, like, who are you talking to? And then I get a phone call one day from the front desk, and they were like, is there a cat up there? And they had put a family next door to me, which I was like, why would they put someone right next to me when this hotel is so empty? But I guess it was because, they don't want the housekeeping or whatever have to go all over the hotel. But anyway, Josephine was like all over on their side, being a cat, but it was just funny. So I want to say thank you for hanging out. It's been a while. I am going to share more about my findings. Like I said, I'm going to do Cumberland Island next. That's going to be next. If anybody has ideas, if you want to talk to your church, if you are the church, if you are a synagogue, or anybody who cares about what's going on at the Georgia Guidestones, if you feel led, you want to go do something, pray that something happens to these things supernaturally, I think that's the way to go. I don't think you should go do anything. Ask Jah to do it. I think that would be awesome. That would be an awesome way to have what? Just a nice event that we could say, wow, I wonder what happened. I wonder what happened to those guidestones. But I want to thank and stay blessed.